It's going.
Making all that noise.
All that damn noise. Hey, check it out, y'all. We're back. We had a mishap on our first episode. Well, we had several mishaps, and there was an echo, and there was a camera that wasn't turned on. But we're here today. Listen, like I said last time, sometime the world get crazy. Today, me and my son's gonna swing at the world and knock down a few subjects. So just so you know who we are, what we do, this is a podcast. These are my three sons from youngest, my son Elijah, the man in the mirror, my son Justice, Poetic Justice, and my son Nasty Nate the Lobster is the oldest. All of us have boxed at some level. I did over 40 amateur boxing matches as a teen. I did a few as an adult. I also fought in the Street Beef Yard, which I created. All of my sons have amateur boxing. Well, Justice is about to do an amateur boxing match, but Justice has several yard fights. Elijah has 1,000,000 yard fights, 1,000,000 amateur fights, and Nate has a few of each as well. So we all like to fight, but we're not going to make this podcast just about fighting, although fighting and its subjects may come up. We're going to just talk about random stuff that you may from time to time see on your Instagram, etc. So, with that in mind, I want to get right to it, and I'm going to start with my subjects, guys, and then we'll go down the line. And now look, I'm old, so some of these subjects these kids may not know, but
Hey, he ain't that old, but like a blind.
well, so watch this. Watch this. Have any of y'all watched the series Breaking Bad?
Yeah, I watched that.
I watched a couple of episodes.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's on
Okay.
Netflix. That's
It's
new
new.
generation. Come on now.
Okay. So
Come on now.
the young dude Jesse, the young guy that was with Walter White, that was selling the dope, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
His real name is Aaron Paul. Okay. So he comes out and said that he makes zero. So Netflix is streaming Breaking Bad now. Breaking Bad was a huge hit.
Yeah, made a lot of money.
He says he makes $0 from Netflix streaming Breaking Bad. I mean, come on.
Makes you wonder how much.
You should
like,
be able to make it at least a little.
yeah. Makes you wonder how much the lead guy made from like all the because he's got to get something from the streams.
Well, now listen. I'll say this. I'm sure they got paid good throughout the series.
Yeah.
This is more so, I guess it would be called syndication. Breaking Bad went over to Netflix. But you would think, you know, you were part of something historic as far as TV goes. You see your stuff over on Netflix, you should get paid from that too.
You know, they make memes of like scenes from like his parts of the show. They made memes out of it. They made clips out of it and everything.
Yeah.
It's a huge role, actually.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, I don't know if you guys remember, but basically, it was him and Walter White. They were the big names in the show, and just here. But that's how TV is. You know, TV. A lot of these stars get screwed over. We talked about this the first time we tried to do our podcast and we messed up. Diddy recently had given the publishings back to his artists, and I explained to my sons, publishings aren't your masters. He gave the publishings back, and they can make some money off of that. But the masters, if he was being real good, that's what he would have given back. But in closing, you know, what do y'all think? Is Netflix wrong for not giving those stars?
Hey, I'll say this: Netflix been raising their prices like crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not even BSing with that. They've been raising their prices like crazy, and on top of this, they're not paying people like this that deserve to be paid. It's not like this is some low budget TV show that just came out. It just had multiple seasons.
It's a big company.
I think
Yeah.
they won awards and stuff for this. You
They
know?
can pay them.
Yeah, they can
Yeah.
pay them.
If
can
they
pay 'em
wanted
if they
to.
wanted to.
Do the right thing, Netflix.
Really?
Damn it.
We'll cancel y'all.
Hey, listen. Well, listen, I don't want to say that because one day I hope to get a show with y'all. All right, so check it. Elon Musk, you guys may have heard, he bought Twitter, okay?
Yeah.
He's done a lot of stuff. I hear his name in social media all the time. It's one thing after another. So he buys Twitter and immediately changes the name to X.
And the logo.
X.
Changing one of the most, one of the most recognizable logos ever to something I've never even.
I was confused on what was on my phone.
I thought
Yeah,
I
me
saw
too.
it.
Me too. I was like, I didn't download
It's
this.
like, what the hell is
I
this?
thought it was pretty dumb in my opinion.
I agree. I mean, you
No
have
shade to him.
right. You have a recognizable logo, and you fucking change the
Everybody
name.
knows Twitter.
Yeah.
Nobody knows X.
Now,
That's crazy.
he comes out because I'm sure you guys have heard how he took away basically any moderation of hate speech. Basically.
Yeah.
Now he comes out today and says, to be super clear, I'm pro free speech, but I'm against anti Semitism of any kind. Alright, I'm gonna say my piece and I want to hear what y'all got to say. But look, you cannot say you're against anti Semitism, but then allow on your app people to be anti Semite. You can't do it. That would be like right now, if I invited a bunch of people into my house and they were all saying all this racist shit, and I was like, well, I'm against what they're saying, but they're cool with me. It don't work that way. Either you shut that shit down or you're supporting it, is my opinion. What do y'all think?
It's very hypocritical in my opinion.
Do you like the new form? Did you participate with Twitter?
Yeah.
Do you like the new Twitter?
No, not at all. That's why I quit.
I've seen some
I got
wild
off.
shit on Twitter.
I'm just saying anything.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
no, I
really-
mean, yeah, some wild videos.
It wouldn't ban nobody.
Yeah.
I never believed it. Like
There's
that.
got to be limits, you know. It's kind of like humans are kind of like kids. If I right now give your brother and sister Apache and Z, if I say, look, do what y'all want, man, there'll be flour all over the floor, eggs, like
There wouldn't be a house.
there wouldn't be a house.
There wouldn't.
And Twitter is about to not be a house anymore.
That's
The kids are going to tear it down. So, you know, I think I don't know what he's trying to prove by saying, hey, there's, you know, I'm not going to fault anybody for anything they say, but I don't think it's going to end well, guys.
Nah, yeah, it's in shambles.
Now, speaking of anti or free speech, how many of you guys know who 1090 Jake is?
Yeah, I know that is.
You know who he is. Do you know him?
I've heard of them.
I've heard of it.
So 1090 Jake, I'm gonna show you
Remember
a
watch
picture.
No Jumper, he has a lot of clips on there. There's a lot of clips of this dude. Like,
You recognize him?
Yeah, yeah.
So look, they make fun of him. Some people do call him Bobby Hill, etc. He does kind of look like Bobby
Yeah,
Hill.
he
but-
does.
never been allowed to have the evidence.
Right. 1090 Jake is, I believe, from Boston, and he spends his days exposing people, or maybe he's from Florida. Could have swore he's from Boston, but he spends his days on the internet exposing people as snitches. So he'll find like a big name rapper, or a big name YouTuber, or a big name Instagrammer, and then he'll go back to the paperwork and he'll say, oh, I just found this. They snitched at one time. Now, none of you guys have been really locked up. Nate did a little time, but it was more of a group home.
More of a, yeah,
But-
so.
But you guys at least have heard about the streets, etc. And look, it comes out that 1090 Jake, after all this time of exposing people, says he has paperwork leaked of him writing a statement against another inmate while he was in prison. He claims it was a grievance to the warden so he could be removed from confinement. And real quick, he stated in the statement that the inmate hit him first. And that's why he should be removed from confinement. So let me just ask y'all first of all, do you think that's snitching?
Definitely. Well, look, with this situation with this guy, like the way that he's been running around doing other people, I kind of, because in the paperwork he said I was assaulted, I was threatened, because I was reading a little bit of it, but he had said that he was threatened and everything. And it just kind of seems like borderline snitching to me.
I think it's on the border. What do you think?
Double standards, you know. I feel like that was snitching as well.
It's very close to snitching.
So I'm gonna say this to y'all. For me, the word snitch has gotten twisted over the years. What happened, to my understanding, is he got in a fight with another inmate. The dude came up, popped him. He fought back. They both got put in the hole. All right. So he's saying to the warden in his statement, look, I was just defending myself. Dude hit me first. So on and so forth. So to me,
Yeah,
that's it's not snitching per se, but there is some people in the streets and in the game that say, look, you don't talk to police, period, and you fucking well don't put your name on no paperwork. And in that regard, he did do that. So, I say to Jake, your career is made off of going around pointing out other people's discrepancies. You can't have nothing out there where you're telling any business, buddy. And he did that. I still don't, personally, I won't call it snitching, but I think, like what y'all said, it's borderline.
Yeah,
so
You
it's
know,
very close.
real close.
If you're gonna make your name off calling people snitches,
You
you
don't
can't.
have no paper.
I mean, how long do you really think someone could be in confinement for a simple fight?
Oh.
Do you, what, a week?
Oh, no, son. Listen, so I'm glad you asked that.
Hell no, I'm gonna be
I got it here.
Me personally, Huttonsville Correctional Center, the year 2000, I did 9 months straight in the hole for a fist fight. Now look, it was a big fist fight.
They did you greasy on that one.
What happened? Yeah, no, they did. They did. They did not like me. No.
There.
There was some guys on our dorm that had told on some other guy. What happened was there was a dude named Outlaw. That was his real last name. He went to the back and he was beating with this other dude and he hit him with a full bottle of water and it cut his eye. So dude and his bunkmates went and told and got Outlaw locked up. So he was like, oh fuck that, we stepped into him. So like 5 of us went back and stepped in him and beat them up. And the guards didn't like that. So they put me, I broke dude's cheekbone, so they put me in the hole for 9 months. But let me tell you, now you said how long can you go in the hole for a fight? I seen one dude named Freak get 2.5 years in the hole for a fight.
For one fight?
Yeah, but look, he beat this little kid named Vampire up.
Oh, I remember this. Oh my god.
He got up on the table with him like a WWF wrestler and slammed him backward on the concrete and broke 3 vertebrae in his back.
So it really depends on the damage.
The damage,
Just a few punches
and
on
how
this
much
out
I'm gonna
like
put
that.
you in there.
it also depends on your record in
Oh,
the
yeah.
prison. If you've already had several incidents, Freak, he was a repeat offender, okay?
That makes sense.
But now I'll tell you all this last thing. There was a dude named Ed Silverstein in Leavenworth Prison. He got life in the hole, but he murdered 2 COs.
Oh, alright, yeah.
But-
do it. That-
Yeah, so he got life in the hole.
You might just get life in confinement.
Yeah, you kill a couple COs, but so on to officers of the law. I know that y'all had to have seen the cop up in, I believe it's Prince George's County, Maryland, kissing a female. He's in
I saw this.
full uniform.
Oh, yeah.
He's in
yeah.
full uniform.
This video is clear.
I
as
didn't
day,
see
so
the
that's
girl.
like,
You haven't seen it?
No, I haven't
Hold on,
seen
I
it.
gotta show you.
He was on duty and he was kissing that girl.
I gotta see if I can find
This
this.
child getting it in, that's all I know.
Yeah, this is crazy. Yeah, there it is. Look. Oh damn. Why you? Look.
Anything to get out of the ticket.
Look at this.
I think he's like walking around.
Look, he's like, and he's doing this in broad daylight.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Look, now he takes her in the back of his cruiser, his arm around her, and he's like, yeah, let's get in the ride, baby.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Now,
Going out to eat dinner or something.
right,
That's
he's in full uniform. So when I first seen it, I was like, damn, yo, that's probably a prostitute.
Yeah, that's what I thought, yeah.
Or I thought maybe it was somebody he arrested for a ticket, and he was like, hey, if you have sex with me, I'll let you out. So then I thought it was really going to be bad. But it turns out it was his girl, but he's married. So this is his side chick.
He almost got away with it.
Man,
Yeah.
He almost got away with it.
Now look, his girl and the chick from the video are beefing on Facebook right now, back and forth at each other. I've been sitting there all day reading that shit like, yo!
Add them as a friend and just read what.
You can't have the side out in broad day.
And you know what's crazy is that there's cameras everywhere now. On every house, every
On
block.
duty,
You
too.
can't do anything
On
outside.
duty! Why would you do it
When
when
he
you're
had his body cam on
That's
too?
4K.
well, now they can turn those body cameras on and off. And that's,
a lot of them are like self-activated.
they are.
Like if you get in a tussle or something, then they turn on and stuff.
Yeah, a lot
Which
of
brings
motion.
me to the question, what's the point of having a body camera,
You
right?
can just turn it off.
Right, the body cams were originally created to keep both police and citizens honest, basically, to document the event. But if the officer can just go turn the body cam off,
I think some now, like I said, are like self-activated to where
Oh.
you can't even turn it off
That's how
now.
it's
how it should
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
It turns on when it hears you start talking and stuff, and then like when you hear that beeping and stuff. That's
Oh, well, that's a good policy, and let me tell y'all, if you look this up, and I know it was Cali, I can't remember the exact details, but there was a cop, he was a state cop out in Cali, was in full uniform, full cruiser, a serial killer. He killed several
I know who
women.
you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, I think he was like was it the interstate one? He was
Yeah.
picking women up
Yep.
and like offering them rides and stuff. Yeah.
And here's the trip. He never actually got charged. They knew he did it, but they couldn't quite prove it. Just crazy, man. Just crazy. Okay, now, a couple of y'all had some subjects I want to hear about. Nate, what you got? Did we already go through yours? Oh, all of y'all talked about this. This is, I don't find no humor in this, and I want to say this first of all. There was a page on Instagram, and I'm not, you know what, I am going to give them some publicity because I want y'all to go report them. It's called Black Buffoonery, and the whole page is dedicated to making black people look bad and saying bad stuff about black people. That's how I found out about this incident, because I report the page every day. I go on and I talk trash to them and report them. So this child, he was a teenager, what, 16?
14.
14.
14 years old, young man.
14 years old, does a social media challenge where he eats the one chip challenge, the pack wheat.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this too before we get into this. You see these challenges, right? I see one recently that was called, what was it called? It was something where these kids, right, in school, they went into bathrooms and they stole urinals off
It's called
the wall.
Devious Licks.
Yeah,
Devious
devious. They were
Licks.
stealing
What?
urinals.
I
They
know.
were taking them home. They were doing all kinds of crazy stuff out there.
I know
They're
somebody
coming
that
up
stole
with
a printer
crazy shit now.
in school.
Like
They stole a printer.
Yeah, they put it in their backpack, stole it.
Yeah, just
For what?
It's gone. For a
Devious.
video.
Okay, so
Somebody stole it.
But it's a
Somebody
social
stole it.
media thing, I think, is what it is. These kids go
Yeah,
get all these apps.
I knew it was over when I seen these little mofos doing the Tide Pod challenge. Okay,
Yeah.
when that came out, I said the world went
Yeah,
crazy.
let's just eat
People used to choke on cinnamon to entertain the internet.
Yeah, the
Now
cinnamon
it's-
challenge.
Yeah.
That's the
Yeah.
challenge.
Now think about it though. Okay, I seen another challenge on TikTok where kids were choking themselves till they passed out. I don't know if y'all seen that.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And a
I've
couple
seen
kids
couple of
died
those.
from it. Yeah, they were choking themselves till they passed out. But this one here, I feel awful for the kid.
Yeah.
And here's why I feel awful. Nobody thinks that eating the chip, it's sold as a challenge. They're selling this, I believe they have these at Walmart.
Yeah,
Or,
gas
They did. I've
stations.
seen one.
yeah.
You can get those at Speedway.
So you
Yeah.
see these, you're not gonna think that you're gonna die from it, okay? This kid thinks he's doing a simple challenge, and let's be clear, in regards to the other ones we talked about, the Tide Pod, the choking yourself, this is a pretty tame challenge.
It's just a
Yeah,
hot
something
chip. It's a
people do
really
every
hot
day.
chip.
And he dies. You know, he dies. And I would just say, for me, and you guys are from the younger generation, especially you two, but I don't even think y'all's generation is as crazy as some of the younger 13 and 14s.
No, we are not.
I've seen crazy.
Some of these folks, man, they do that old saying, anything for clout. And to me, it's just like, why do you want to risk your life, risk your freedom, risk humiliating yourself, humiliating your family for clout? What is clout? Let me ask y'all this: do you guys seek out clout? I'm your father, and I don't feel like I ever see you guys seeking out clout.
Well, I barely even post on social media more than
I
less.
don't know.
I post every once in a while, just
Well, you're proud of your
Not
boxing and proud of your work. That's different.
it's different.
I see when they say do anything for clout, you see some people that literally jump off a fucking bridge for
Remember
clout.
that? There was a girl in Dr. Phil during the coronavirus pandemic peak that was going around licking toilet seats.
Oh my goodness, I remember that.
Like, what the hell is going on? There's nothing look good on TikTok. I just want to start by saying that there's not a single thing on there that's any good.
Well, I agree. Hey, listen, if we got anybody live at the end with the last 10 minutes, we're gonna take about 5 questions or comments from y'all and answer them. Speaking of coronavirus, somebody said something, there was something else new that just happened.
I got it.
Let's see.
Alright, let me pull this up. It says there's a mask mandate for Maryland public elementary schools.
Oh,
And
yeah,
there's some people that are mandating that work and shit again too, I believe.
I'm not sure. But they did that, they're doing it for the Senate.
Well, Biden's already talking
Yeah,
about it. He's
Biden's
wearing
already
masks
wearing
and
masks.
social distance.
He tested negative anyway,
There
but
we
he's still
go,
wearing it.
man.
I'm gonna be careful with my next words, okay? Because I'll start by saying there's certain politicians I don't like. That's all I'm gonna say. These politicians were saying that Biden was part of a conspiracy, blah blah blah, and now just a few weeks ago they said, "You watch, Biden's office is going to come out and put corona mandates back in place so they can try to rig the election again." Now, I don't believe all those conspiracy theories, but damn, here it comes, just like they predicted.
Yeah, that is straight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know this, I know multiple people who had successful businesses that when that coronavirus started, it ended their business. Well,
People
listen,
lost houses.
they're
They,
on,
Yeah.
on Julie.
Yeah.
Like, there's several people whose businesses got destroyed by, look, I get it. You don't want old folks to get sick and die. You don't want anybody to get sick and die. At the same time, you cannot lock down the entire country and tell people they can't work. I said this at the time. There's one thing almost as bad as death, and that is financial death, losing everything you got, and going out in the street being broke. Imagine having a business that you built for 10, 15 years, and then because the government won't let you work, your business is complete. Yeah, it's awful. What else you got?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of businesses come and go from that virus.
And I got a couple more things too as he's looking. Well, you tell me what you got.
Wait, I had that one thing I showed you at the gym. A Florida man arrested for trying to cross the Atlantic Ocean in a human-sized hamster wheel.
Y'all, listen.
it's always
Look
Florida.
at the setup.
Look at
It's
this.
got balloons.
Florida
all
is-
that.
Hey.
He was prepared.
If it was working, why did we stop it?
What's the
Yeah.
problem? Like, okay, listen.
They gonna try to patent that. Watch, this man's gonna disappear.
And then they're gonna pack it. And they're gonna sell a bunch of hamster wheels.
Yeah.
Well, listen, this is all I'm saying. When you first told me this, I was like, what did they arrest him for?
Yeah.
The fuck? I mean, so you're telling me if I wanna go cross the ocean in a homemade raft, I'm not allowed to? Why? The ocean belongs to everybody. I'm not hurting anybody except maybe myself. What is the problem? I'm gonna show my age on y'all again. I'm sure all y'all have heard of Amelia Earhart.
Yeah.
Okay, first lady pilot. She
She
was,
had her own roller coaster.
yeah, she's super famous, super famous as a female pilot. She set out and flew around the world and did all that stuff when it was super dangerous. Nobody stopped her. What if they had? She would have never accomplished those things. So this guy goes to try to, yeah, and they stop him. Do y'all think they should have been able to stop him?
No.
I don't see
Nothing
why.
to be arrested for.
No. Maybe if he was posing.
Maybe improper boating license or something.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe that's what they stopped him for, and he got arrested. Is maybe he had a bad boating license. Maybe,
Certified.
some
water
sh-
thing.
yeah. Because I just can't see any other reason why he would have gotten arrested for trying to make a trip like that.
I want to know what crime he committed. Even if it was no, now hear me out though. If they got a full boating license, what crime did they get him for to pull him over?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You gotta have probable cause to check his
There was
boating
definitely
license.
no. They just seen a weird vessel and they stopped him. If you ask me, that doesn't add up.
I think he had a bunch of publicity about getting ready to try this. The cops heard about it. They plotted, said we gotta find a way to stop this guy. But again, why are you so determined to stop him? From
Yeah.
what?
It looked like it was working. That picture
Yeah.
was in the middle of the ocean. It looked like he was
Look,
making
it
one.
looked cool. see this thing again. I'm not gonna lie. It
Nah,
looks,
that was on shore.
Oh, alright.
That's just a picture on
but
shore.
still, the joint look,
That looks like
How would
they
that
could
fail?
do something.
There's no way that would fail.
it actually looks pretty cool.
He's either a genius or an idiot.
But now think about this. I showed you some of the giant rogue waves, right? Imagine you're out in the middle of the ocean in that thing, and those 50-foot waves are throwing you around.
You know something else? It was during a hurricane.
Ooh.
That was another thing.
Oh, that might have been, okay, that might have been why they were that way.
Yeah, but even then, okay.
It was in Florida though, of course it was a hurricane.
But you know, do you guys know you can be arrested for attempted suicide?
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
So,
What they gonna charge you with?
well, this is what I don't get. Like, so wait a minute. If a motherfucker, and listen, I want to start with this. If you're out there and you're having depressive thoughts, if you're thinking of hurting yourself, talk to somebody. Never follow through with those kind of thoughts, and I say that in all sincerity. But if somebody is set on hurting themselves or killing themselves, what is arresting them afterwards going to do? You're only making it worse.
You know how many people, you know what's crazy to me too is now you see these suicide pods and the doctors that are willing to, yeah, there's a pod they're designing where you can climb inside of it and you shut it and like, I don't know, some gas or something comes out and puts you to
What?
sleep and you just die.
Stop playing with
That's
me.
a real thing, look it up, suicide pods, and they got this,
In what country would this be legal? Is there a country that's actually going to allow this?
they're in design is what it is, I think, so.
Who is
You know,
design?
Sounds like we're going
some
back.
places there's doctors
Yeah.
that'll do it. You can go to a doctor and they're like, alright, well,
Well,
I guess
yeah.
we'll kill you. You know.
Listen, now there is, you guys are too young to remember Dr. Kevorkian, but my old heads, you remember Dr. K.
I know that thing.
So Dr. Kevorkian, this I believe is in the 90s, he was a suicide doctor. And what he did is people that were in great pain, had cancer, you know, blah, blah, they would go to him and he would kill them, you know. And he did it for some time without consequences. Then finally they did arrest him and stuff. But, you know, again, it's a deep subject, right to live versus, you know, what? All right, let me ask y'all this. Let's just say hypothetically, I wanted to die, and I say I'm going to a doctor, and this doctor in a medical setting, humanely, quietly, away from everybody, is going to assist me in taking my life. Whose business is that, though? Honest question. I mean, on one hand, suicide is awful,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
But shouldn't it be our choice?
I think maybe before that process takes place, maybe that person should get like assessed,
Right.
a mental evaluation just to make sure that you're all there. And if you
Right.
are, and this is something you really want to do, you know, I mean, because like you said, arresting them's not going to do nothing. They're going to get back out and do it again anyways.
Well, and then facing those criminal charges, etc., that's not a deterrent.
Yeah,
That's just going to
make
make
it
it worse. You know, I'll say this. I don't know if any of y'all out there and any of my sons. I'm sure you guys. Again, you're young. I won't keep saying that. There's an old documentary called Golden Gate. Now I don't know if y'all know the Golden Gate Bridge is one of the biggest scenes of suicide in the world.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. People go to the Golden Gate Bridge to jump and commit suicide. There's this documentary called Golden Gate, and I'm telling you, it'll choke you up. There's throughout the whole docu, you see this girl, or no, I think it's a guy, I'm sorry. I think it's a guy, but you see him pacing back and forth on the bridge. And they keep showing flashes of it throughout this whole hour-long documentary. Then at the end, you watch him just calmly step up on the bridge and jump off. And all of these people, you know, they go and they do that. But there were some survivors of Golden Gate and other.
Did people like jump off and live though, or fall off?
There
or
was.
something?
And there's one thing that a lot of suicide survivors say, that at the moment they went through with it, those people that jumped, they immediately didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
The moment they jumped off, they're like, no, I want to live. And that's what I would say to anybody out there considering that. Look, it's probably not as bad as you think it is. You know, you got people that love you, et cetera, you know. Justice, you got subjects for us?
Yeah, I got like 2 topics.
Let's see what you got.
We can talk about Krishan and Blueface again, like we did for that
yeah.
Test Run podcast. I saw
And
Another thing for
And we
me,
could talk about them like every week. We could get a
Yeah.
different topic.
yeah, they're a very interesting couple that,
So they got something new going on, or is it pretty much?
yeah, so I just wanted to talk about,
You know, he posted.
where they went IG Live for the pregnancy.
Yeah.
You know,
Oh, what
Krishan went on IG Live when she was having her baby.
She did.
Wait.
She had chains on and
Yeah,
stuff.
Wait,
and she had
wait, hold
chains.
She
on.
was wearing chains while she was having the baby.
Yo.
Let me
Wait a
see
minute.
if I can find this.
So during the birth
Yeah,
process?
yeah, like during the
Yeah.
process, she
What?
went out. Like you can see her screaming in the video.
So I hope at least they didn't pan down to the baby coming out.
I don't think she did all.
No, I think it was just up on her face, and
I think
she
she-
had a really big silver chain on.
Yeah, she was.
But-
I don't know if that was weighing down.
She's iced out.
I
What was going on?
look, y'all, celebs, listen, listen to me. Everything's not for everybody, okay? That's a private moment, having your baby, you know. If you wanna go live, hold the baby afterwards, cool.
Yeah.
Look at these pictures.
Oh,
That was
oh,
her.
Yeah.
Damn.
oh, Lord.
Yeah, she was struggling. I just don't think that's something that you should go live for, you know? I mean, maybe record it for yourself. you
Record
know,
it,
but-
keep it.
It's a private
Don't
moment,
post it.
right?
Don't
I
have
mean,
it.
Yeah, it definitely is a private matter, you know?
I mean, I don't think that's something that needs to be. I don't think anybody was saying, I want to watch her face contorted in pain while she has a baby. Maybe there's some sickos out there that
Yeah,
wanted
nah,
to see
I
that.
think a few people drive like, yeah.
Definitely want to watch that.
But, you know, Blueface and Christian, y'all know. You see him in the news all the time. I talked about this on our failed episode yesterday, and I'm going to say this. The girl seems like, I call her girl, she's a young lady. She seems like she's just maybe a little lost, but I don't think she's a bad person. I don't even know that he's necessarily a bad person. Like I said the other day, I think sometimes you just get two people together and they're just toxic, you know. I think she's a little misguided. I think she does love that dude and she follows after him, but they are not a good look for each other, you know, in my
Absolutely.
opinion.
I don't know.
And they got, I think that's their first kid.
Yeah.
You know, he tweeted, he said, who will watch the baby? That's right.
Yeah, he wasn't present for that IG Live.
Well, wait a minute, have y'all paid any attention to his mother's Instagram post?
Nah.
Oh
What you
my
mean?
God, she is,
She claimed that they were cousins.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I saw that.
Yes.
She claimed that they were cousins. I don't know if it was a publicity stunt.
That's wild. That's a wild one.
I wish I could remember her name. I would look that up. But yes, she got on her Instagram, did this whole video. She had like his aunts and shit in the car, and she told the story that supposedly they were cousins. Now, I don't know how true it is, but you know, regardless, it's like this. The girl, people make fun of Chris Young. I think she's a pretty girl. You see, she got her tooth knocked out fighting for Blueface, and I think she's a bit of a follower. You know, and Blueface is a bit charismatic, but he got to chill too, because they're going to destroy everything they built.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
let me say this: we got a dude says a man was nearly stabbed to death following a dangerous wrong-way crash in New York. Okay, so I want to tell y'all this: guy's driving wrong way, crashes the car, injures some people. One of the drivers gets out, stabs him up like, you stupid mother, and stabs him. There was another incident up in Cleveland. A dude was driving, he was kind of speeding through a neighborhood. Bam, he crashes into this porch and kills an old man. So the people from the neighborhood drag him out of the car and beat him to death. Beat him to death, all right? But now, everybody look this story up. I watched like 5 documentaries on this story. It haunts me every time I talk about it. So this was down in Texas. A Hispanic guy and his family, they're driving home, okay, and it's dark out. So he's got his wife and his 10-year-old and his 8-year-old, right? 2 boys. So they're driving home. The car stalls about 400 yards from their house. Now they live on a dark back road.
Oh, I think I know the story. Yeah.
So the boys, he tells the boys, get out and push, I'm gonna steer, we'll get it, you know, we're close to the house. Right at that moment, a drunk driver comes barreling down through that back road, smacks the boys in between both cars, cuts them in half. Cuts them in half, right? So the mama is freaking out. I'm gonna try not to be too graphic here. You edit some of this shit out. The mama gets out and is like trying to put the boys back together. And I couldn't imagine, she's freaking out.
Hysterical,
That
probably.
is
Yeah.
horrible.
Well, somebody, we don't know who, gets a gun and shoots that drunk driver in the head. Who knows
Wonder
who
why.
did it? Hit him from the woods.
An unknown assailant.
An unknown assailant. Well,
You definitely never know.
the cops come along, they got a hell of a scene. They got 2 kids in this condition. Then they got another dude in the car with a gunshot to the head.
I mean, I ain't laughing, but like,
Yeah, it's a bad
There's
situation.
a lot of stuff to deal with.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So they turn around and arrest the dad. They said that the dad had disappeared or went to his house for a moment, got a gun, came back, shot the dude. That's what they said. So they arrest this father, which I'm like, dude, arrest him for what? Okay, that's one. They arrest him, take him to trial. He gets found not guilty.
Oh.
He got found not guilty, and got sent home to his family as he should have. But
Right.
now, how many of you know somebody that's been affected by drunk driving? Have you ever had a friend?
No, I've never,
Not in
thankfully,
the
I've never had anybody.
So, let me say this. I had a friend get killed by a drunk driver. I had another friend named Chris Buckley, rest in peace. Him and 3 of my other friends were riding in a car speeding. Chris died. He was 20 years old. I'd known him most of my life. And crashed. He flew out the window, hit his head on a tree, died. And the other girl that was with him, a girl named Robin, broke every bone in her body. My mom worked at the hospital. When she came in, she heard her screaming and stuff. But listen, drunk driving, I lecture all y'all all the time. It can be bad. It can be a scary thing. But I'll say this, even then, the dude that killed the kids, I think prison was too good for him.
Oh yeah. You know, that reminds me of that story of that dude on the payphone.
Oh, yeah.
Prison was too good for him. He
Yeah.
got away with it right there on camera, blew his head off.
Oh, the dad on the payphone.
Yep. He said you're about to hear a gunshot. Turn around, boom, right there on the.
Y'all never heard this story.
That
So-
was crazy.
Look, this was an old 80s legendary story. The video's still out there. Okay, watch this. Hold on.
You could find it, yeah. Like
I'm gonna
I
show
don't
you.
want to say too much on camera, but it was crazy. You could see everything in the video.
Watch this. I mean,
Forgot that guy's name though.
the dad was a legend. Dad was a legend. I'm not gonna, watch, they won't show it on there.
Like I should go like Google or Reddit.
I'm gonna try it
If it was still Twitter, you'd find it on there.
I'm sure it is on
though.
Twitter.
There we go. Look,
He's a
Watch.
father who done it out of love for his child and for his crime.
watch.
On March 16th,
There's
1984, at around 9:30 p.m., Gary Plauché.
Ah, he didn't show it. But look, so the long and the short, the son was molested by a karate teacher. Dad was like, he ain't making it to trial. So
That's
he's not
exactly.
making.
Hey, and when you hear
Right,
a man
it's
saying
a
something
crazy
like that,
thing.
Rightfully so.
Yeah, he's on court in the streets. So dad goes to the payphone inside the courthouse, posts up with his revolver, sitting there talking, and like Nate said, he said, you're about to hear a shot. Right as the karate teacher walks by, pow, puts a hot one in it, drops it. I don't think he got any time, did he?
he got no time. He did a little bit of time while they were deciding. You know how that goes.
Right,
Yeah.
And
right.
you could hear the officers after they knew him. They were like, "Why, Gary? Why?" Like,
Yeah,
They
yeah,
cut him
yep.
off. He got no time for it.
Yep.
He did it right there on camera.
Now listen,
That's how it
notice-
should be.
No,
That's
I
how it
agree.
should be.
I agree. Listen, we all agree. I feel like, if maybe more of these criminals got punished on sight, they would stop. But I do want to say this, we're definitely not condoning anybody hurting anybody, going out and committing violence. Not condoning that.
Yeah, don't
Just
do
so
that.
you know.
Yeah, don't do that.
I want to talk about a lighter subject real quick. Guys, we got about 15 minutes and we're going to take some questions before we go. And again, I told y'all these mofos is young, so they not gonna pretty much know none of this.
I'm not that young.
Do y'all know Baby from Cash Money Records?
I know who that is.
You ever put some respect on my name? The boy I do with the tattoos?
Birdman.
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 The
Okay.
Breakfast Club.
So he was the founder of Cash Money Records. He brought Lil Wayne into the game. He's big time. He's
A lot
big
of the
time.
rappers that come after Lil Wayne are like Lil Wayne is because of Birdman.
That's right. So look, little do y'all know that Lil Wayne wasn't even the hottest of the hot boys. BG, in my opinion, or Juvenile, were the hottest. So BG got sent to prison back in the early 2K.
Didn't he just get out?
Got out.
I saw
Yeah,
that.
he got out yesterday.
Yeah.
So Birdman to me showed he's a real one. Okay, people talk ish on Birdman. They said he ripped off Lil Wayne, but it came out that he came back and gave Lil Wayne millions and said, if this is what it takes to make it right, I'm going to do so. I'm not going to rip you off. Okay, BG gets out. Baby greets him with a big gold Cash Money necklace and says, check your bank account, you good. So, ain't that how it should be though?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, that's what Diddy should have been doing
He
for
looked
his
it
artists. You know.
yeah, and that's what Suge Knight wasn't doing for his artists.
Yeah.
You guys are a little young to remember all the stuff with Suge Knight and Death Row Records, but let me say this to you. Suge Knight, he was a gangster for real, y'all.
Yeah. Terrifying.
Yeah, I mean, there's a story about Vanilla Ice, which there's several different versions of what happened, but here's what we do know happened. He lured Vanilla Ice to a hotel room and beat him and another person, they say was Pac, beat Vanilla Ice until he agreed to sign over the royalties from Ice Ice Baby, which is just crazy.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that song was like one of the biggest songs ever.
Yeah, but there's even crazier accusations that have came out about Suge Knight. You know, you guys know who Eazy-E is. Please tell me you know who Eazy-E
Yes.
is.
Right.
Okay. So, Eazy-E, as y'all know, died of HIV, rest in peace. The rumor is that Suge Knight injected him with AIDS and had him killed.
Yeah, I've seen
I've
that.
heard that
That
story
theory.
before.
Now look,
That theory before.
remember this. I gotta show you all this real quick. And just remember that they were beefing badly. Okay, now watch.
First time I see you, I'll come check you out, right? Right.
Oh, I remember this. I've seen this.
Oh, it's not. Oh no, that's just.
Watch this.
Kyle, you've been in the can for a while. Sure, all the talk show hosts have heard. It's a new thing, right? Yeah. See, if somebody gonna do something right, see, technology is so high, right? Right. So if you shoot somebody, you go to jail forever. Kids, you don't want to go to jail forever, right? So they got this new thing out that people say all the time. They got this stuff they call, they get blood from somebody with AIDS. Yeah. And they shoot you with it. Oh, so that's
Now look, he said that.
That reminds me. You know, they actually said the CIA has a gun similar to that,
I believe it.
where it
Yeah.
can shoot you without you even knowing.
We got
It just
technology that's like
injected
50
you and
years
killed you.
ahead.
I can see it, and I'm gonna tell you, think about it, how unlikely it is. You gotta understand how bad Eazy and Suge Knight were beefing. They wanted to kill each other, okay?
Yeah.
Eazy gets AIDS, and to the day he died, they couldn't really figure out which lady transmitted it to him. Okay, now think about that. You would think eventually the woman that gave it to him would have been exposed. You gave AIDS to a celebrity.
Yeah.
That never really came out. And then you got Suge Knight saying, hey, this is how you kill somebody you got beef with. And him and Eazy-E just happened to be at each other's neck back then, you know? See, that's why I tell you youngins, we was more, I don't even want to make it like that's gangster, but it was bad back then. Like, motherfuckers would kill each other
It's a
real.
crazy way to die.
Now, I'm going to talk about this last subject, and then I'm going to get our camera lady to read off some questions, comments to us here in just a few, if we have any, for the first episode. So, you know, speaking of our generation, a lot of the youngsters say, well, man, you know, do you think the 90s, 80s was worse than nowadays? And you guys are seeing all these youngsters on live shooting people, doing crazy ish. And look, your generation is just dumber, okay? Not y'all in particular, but the criminals of your generation. They film themselves going and killing people,
They're more
doing,
open about it.
right, too open. Now,
They live stream it nowadays.
Yeah.
That's right.
When they do.
You remember the dude that went and did the Tops grocery killings? He live
yes,
streamed it to Twitch.
yes. You know what? Speaking of that guy, Peyton Gendron, I think was his
Yeah,
name.
it was some goofball. That's
Buffalo, New York. He read all this white supremacist manifesto-ish online, and I think he thought he was going to be a hero for white supremacy. So he goes to execute a bunch of people, and it was the sick. I made the mistake to watch the video. I think I sent it to you too.
I watched it. I
Yeah.
seen it.
I wish I hadn't watched it. He killed a bunch of old people. Okay, right. And this is what I say. I seriously.
Because he's a clown, man.
He's a coward clown. And if you're a white supremacist, I have a question for you. I see all these mass shootings, but this guy in particular, Peyton, why didn't you, if you're so bad and you wanted to fight and be for black people, why didn't you go to the ghetto down in Buffalo and pull up on the hood boys and shoot it out with them? Instead of going and killing a bunch of old ladies that were shopping for Sunday dinner.
I think he would have. And you know what's crazy too is in the video, you remember he spared the one white guy that he seen.
He did,
He was on
yeah.
the ground. He's like, oh, and he's like, oh, sorry, and then ran off and killed some other people.
You know, the saddest part, and there was a lot of sad parts to it, because again, you're seeing old people get killed. The saddest part, there was a security guard that was well known to the community. 'Cause
Carl, I think his
Yeah.
name was Carl.
he was an ex-cop, highly decorated. He always came to work, always did his job. So when Peyton comes in a shooting, the cop gets the drop on him. Perfect shot, boom, boom. Kid's got a bulletproof vest on. Kid turns around with the AR, lights him up, and that's it. And it's like, dude, you killed a good man, you got to live. But here's the last thing I'll say on this subject. Kids like Peyton and other mass shooters, they see all the BS online, all the talk, blah, 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 and they think that when they go do something like that, they're going to be a hero. And they're going to get to bask in everybody talking to them and about them. No, you're going to a cell, son. You're going to a cell. You're not going to have internet access most of the time in max security. If you do, it'll be highly limited. And in his case, he's probably going to a 24-hour max security prison. So if you're out there thinking that you're going to be some kind of hero, think again. That's all I can say. Hey, listen, I'm bringing this on my guys here. We're going to make it a segment of the show to take 5-10 minutes of questions or comments at the end. Nothing? Okay. So this is our first episode. We don't have any live viewers today.
Oh, Sunshine's there.
Sunshine's there.
But I
Sunshine. What's up?
Hey,
There's
God.
two, I believe there's two
Yeah,
other
what's up?
people
I think
there.
For future, like for the live stream and stuff, we need to share it to the one page before.
The community.
Destiny-
Yeah.
because-
Destiny Watson.
That's his sis. Yeah.
Oh!
Destiny.
She actually
Yeah.
said something about DUIs is really bad where she
Yeah.
lives at.
Yeah.
Oh, she had.
She's out in Washington, right? Or did she moved to Texas?
She moved to, I think it was Texas or New Mexico. One, I can't keep up with all the moves.
El Paso.
Yeah.
Texas.
Alright.
Yeah.
You know, the DUIs, man, it endangers everybody. And it endangers you and the people around you. But, you know, I tell y'all, we made a mistake because we did not share this live. We're going to do that next time. When we do that, guys, the questions pick up a lot. This is our first episode. We've shot twice this week, so we're going to call it a wrap. I want to say to y'all, please tune in next time. We're going to be live every Monday, right around 6 p.m. I know the world's crazy, so take a chance to swing at the world. Support us on all social media, Spotify, both YouTube channels, Instagram, and TikTok. We love y'all. Peace.
How do I stop it? You should have said, what is Twitter called now? X.
See you on X.
See you on the next.
No, you don't want to be seeing nobody on X. You better not, boy. Boy.
X.
That's like, it's just this turns it on, this turns it.